Zubeyde is fascinated with the spray of colors on the surface of water. She practices the ancient Anatolian art of Ebru. This is different from other marbling techniques. The colors here don't blend into each other. Rather, they stand apart, creating harmonious patterns that are a delight to the eyes. Although she resides in Turkey, Zubeyde is currently promoting her exhibition of 40 paintings in New York City. I sat down with her at the Turkish Cultural Center to chat about how she began this fascinating art form. Zubeyde, thank you so much for joining us today. First of all, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in Ebru?
Tabii. Adım Siddi Zubeyde Atan.
Of course. My name is Zubeyde Atan. I'm currently visiting New York, and I came to the U.S. from Sakarya, Turkey. I'm very involved in practicing the traditional Turkish arts. I started working on the traditional arts in 1998. I trained in calligraphy under a retired colonel, Mulis Uslu, for 2 years. The art of Ebru is also intricately connected with people's souls, and that's why I want to observe and examine these effects on people. I want to offer this art to people as a visible craft, and I know this will help them spiritually, so one of my goals is to continue with this, and I hope to always continue like this, as long as I am healthy and well. For 10 years, I taught at Badagul Art House in Sakarya, and I met many different people. And I had the opportunity to see how artists use all kinds of colors and how they applied these together. When you are teaching, you actually learn quite a lot. From the colors people use, you can predict their characters and even what mood they are in.
The art of Ebru is an ancient technique of water marbling. Paints are made from natural or synthetic pigments and sprayed skillfully on the surface of the water, treated with gum and pigments. When a white piece of paper is placed on the surface of this water, these designs are transferred poetically onto the paper.
First, I'm going to talk about my materials, and then I will demonstrate how to make the background and later how to draw a rose over the background. The paints you see here are soil paints and metal oxides. Each and every one of them goes through a 20-hour mashing process. The brushes you see here are made out of rose stems and horsehair. There's also a type of animal bile present in the paints, and as for the water, we always treat it with turpentine. Turpentine is an ingredient that we add into the water specially for Ebru art. It helps in retaining all that paint on the surface and not dissolve into the water. Let's start with the background.
So we squeeze a little bit of the paint out.
Yeah, after that we'll demonstrate a flower.
And then you cover the canvas, it seems, with little beats that cover in the color. And the paint is really pungent. It's like they say they put turpentine in there, so it gives like a pungent smell, but I guess that stops the inks from mixing together. I think I understand this right. And she's using my favorite colors, by the way. So it seems like you get the brush pretty dry and get a lot of the ink out, so it's only little dots that come out. That is so pretty. Oh, that's so cool. What I love about this is that the inks don't mix, so when another ink hits another color, they like spread and move out the way. That's so awesome. Now these little techniques she's using is what they use to make the flowers, and I understand that tulips, if I believe I'm right, are very important flowers in the Turkish culture. I'm not going to learn how to do this because this is extremely difficult, even though she makes it look very easy. I'm just going to do the background starters. I'm very curious to know, and Zubeyde will have to tell us when she takes that tool and hits the bottom of the pan what that does, because that's a different technique than she uses generally when she's putting the flower on. She doesn't touch the bottom, she just touches the surface of the water. There's my flower. Let's see if we get a rose or a tulip. I love it. Very beautiful, very beautiful. You see the rose and the petals of the rose that she made, and this is the background that she's going to teach me because this is way too difficult for a beginner like me to learn. Very beautiful.
Thank you.